Hi, everyone. Welcome to Studio Classroom on the air. This is the place to come when you want to improve your English. My name is Rebecca. Do you drink a cup of coffee every morning? Do you think that your morning cup of coffee really hits the spot? Well, believe it or not, there are actually other ways to give you energy without drinking coffee. Right here, I have a cup of coffee, or a cup that says, I love coffee. Well, you know something? It's time for us to throw out the coffee and try one of the following tips. So, today's lesson is called 10 Ways to Boost Your Energy Without Coffee. So first, the first tip is reach for protein. Next, drink cold water. 3, sip green tea. And 4, breathe deeply. Okay, friends, open up your magazines and don't get a cup of coffee. So, let's go.
10 ways to boost energy without coffee. Do you really need that cup of coffee? While a cup of coffee may have hit the spot this morning, chances are it'll be time to call in for reinforcements by the time the afternoon rolls around. These 10 solutions pack an energy-boosting punch, sans caffeine jitters. Reach for protein. Snack on something with at least 10 grams of protein to produce a steady rise in blood sugar and energy levels, counteracting a post-carb crash.
Hi everyone, welcome to Language Lab. 这篇文章的第一个重点，我们看 reinforcement 这个名词。re 这个字首是指再次 ，in 这个字根是指进入 ，force 是指力量，所以加在一起 reinforcement 在这里是指加强能量的食物或能量补给品。例如 After finishing the meeting, we need some reinforcements to keep us going. 开完了这个会议，我们需要来一点补给品，让我们可以继续工作下去。Reinforcements 也可以指打仗时的援军，这个时候记得要用复数型。例如 The troops will be sent to the frontier as reinforcements. 这些部队会被派到前线作为援兵。接下来我们看的是 counteract 这个动词 counter 这个字首是指相反或反对， act 是指动作，所以 counteract 是指抵消或中和。例如 adding some sugar to your dish can counteract the acidity in your food. 在菜的里面加点糖可以中和食物里面的酸性。或者是 a delayed apology doesn't counteract the effect of the politician's rude comments about women. 这名政客迟来的道歉已经无法挽回之前他对女性粗鲁的言论所造成的影响。
Gabe, are you drinking what I think you're drinking?
Rebecca.
Is that really coffee?
Would you like to have some?
No,
because
thank
it's
you.
Delicious.
Well, Gabe, our lesson is all about boosting your energy without coffee. Why are you drinking coffee?
Because, Rebecca, the lesson made me think about coffee and how much I need my coffee. So here it is. Cheers.
Well, I bet at the end of today's lesson or tomorrow's lesson, you will be convinced that you don't need coffee. Because guess what? We have a question here. Do you really need that cup of coffee? Is it really a need or is it a want?
Is that the question? Yeah. Okay. Do you really need that cup of coffee? A lot of people really do feel like they need coffee. My dad used to be like this. He used to be addicted to coffee. I would say right now, I might be on that path too because I like coffee a lot and I feel like I need it in the morning. Do you feel this way? I know a lot of people feel that way.
Well, our lesson says, while a cup of coffee may have hit the spot this morning, chances are it'll be time to call for reinforcements by the time the afternoon rolls around. So let's talk about a few things in this sentence, starting with the word that you see on the screen, reinforcements. Now, oftentimes when I hear this word reinforcements, I think of the military, the act of bringing in more people to help you out. But that's kind of the idea. something to make you stronger.
That's exactly right. And just like Rebecca said, this is a military word. It's often used in the military to talk about bringing more people or more equipment to complete a certain mission or project. However, our lesson is kind of using it in a fun way, right? You can talk about needing reinforcements. That means you need another cup of coffee or even a third or fourth cup later in the day to help you stay energized.
And that doesn't sound very healthy. So by the time the afternoon rolls around, you might need some reinforcements. Let's take a look at that phrase, rolls around. If something rolls around, this just means that a time, event actually starts to happen.
Right. And the idea here is that it happens once in a while, okay? So maybe once a year, or like the seasons, the seasons roll around every year, right? So you could talk about, oh, summer is here again. Summer is rolling around, right? Or perhaps the holidays. The holidays are rolling around again pretty soon. Or maybe people talk about the tax filing season. That time of the year is here again. It's rolling around.
Well, our lesson is going to provide 10 different ways that you can get energy without using coffee or without drinking coffee, because I think that too much coffee can actually make you feel a little jittery. You know what I mean, Gabe? So you better watch out.
You mean it might give you the jitters?
Yeah.
Yes, the jitters, when you just feel really anxious and nervous. Well, that's what our next sentence says. These 10 solutions pack an energy-boosting punch, sans caffeine jitters. And sans means without. So if you use these tips, then you won't have the jitters that you get from drinking a nice cup of coffee.
Well, our first tip we see is called reach for protein. Now let's take a look at that phrase, reach for something. Typically, that just means that you're stretching your arm out to get something. So you're going to stretch your arm out and get some of that protein, maybe fish or beef, eggs, other types of meat. That's all protein.
Yeah, this looks like a lot of protein here in this picture, Rebecca. Well, I like to reach for a cup of coffee. That means I'm going to go out and buy my cup of coffee, and then I'll put it on the desk, and later I'll reach out for it and start drinking. So you can reach for something else too. You could reach for a snack if you're feeling a little bit hungry. Why not reach for a snack? That means just go out and get a snack.
Well, what kind of snack should you snack on? Snack on something at least, with something that has at least 10 grams of protein to produce a steady rise in blood sugar and energy levels, counteracting a post-carb rush.
Crash.
Crash.
So actually, that's a good thing that you mentioned, rush, because that's what you get at first when you drink something like coffee. You get a rush. And the opposite, or later afterwards, is you have that post-caffeine crash.
Yes, but let's look at that word to counteract. If something counteracts something else, that just means that it reduces or removes the effect of something.
Yeah, so for example, if you're going to eat something with a lot of sugar, then you're going to have a post-carb crash. But if you have something with protein, you won't have that crash later on. It'll counteract the effect, right? So speaking of reaching for protein, do you ever like to have protein bars, Rebecca?
Ooh, I do enjoy eating protein bars, especially when I'm hungry.
So they don't have any meat inside though, right?
No, they don't, but they have other things in them that give you energy, and sometimes they just hit the spot.
They hit the spot. That phrase appears in our lesson today, and it's something we need to learn more about in
the Info Cloud.
Hello, friends. Here's an experience that I'm sure lots of you have had. It's a hot day out, and you come home feeling extremely thirsty. You open up the fridge and pour yourself a tall glass of lemonade. You drink it, and what's your reaction?
That hit the spot.
Now, mind you, Ken didn't get hit by anything, but he felt satisfied by taking that big gulp of ice-cold lemonade, and that hit the spot or satisfied him.
So what exactly did the phrase hit the spot come from? Well, you can think of the bullseye of a target. We know that in archery, the target is designed with circle outlines, and in the center is a spot or a filled-in small circle.
So, if your arrow hits that spot, you'll get a sense of satisfaction. Over the years, hit the spot has come to mean giving total satisfaction.
And the thing that hits the spot is usually something we eat or drink. That meal hit the spot. It was delicious.
Or, that apple pie really hit the spot. It was the perfect dessert.
在炎热的夏天，你从外头回到家，打开冰箱，倒一杯冰凉的柠檬汁，然后大口的喝下肚，那种消暑解渴的感觉，你可以说 That hit the spot。那正是我想要的。Hit the spot 就表示正中下怀，正合心意。Spot 在这里有着目标的意思，就好像射箭射中了 bullseye 靶心，那是一种很大的满足感。下一次你吃了好吃的东西或喝了好喝的饮料后，感到很痛快或很满足，就可以说 That hit the spot.
Hey everyone! Let's imagine for just a moment you're really tired. You need a boost of energy, but you don't want to drink coffee. That's right, we've already thrown out the coffee. What can you do? Well, our lesson gives us one important tip, well, at least one that we've already learned, and that is reach for the protein. Yeah, you can eat some protein instead of drinking coffee. Now, what does our lesson say about cold water? Let's find out now.
10 ways to boost energy without coffee. Drink cold water. Cold triggers the stimulating hormone adrenaline, which helps your heart pump stronger, boosting blood flow to your brain. Additionally, drinking water revives shriveled cells after hours of sleep-induced dehydration, which is known to cause tiredness. Sip green tea. Where overdosing on coffee may make you jittery, green tea has just enough caffeine to boost production of the hormone adrenocorticotropin, which triggers the release of cortisol. It also contains EGCG, which promotes focus and calmness. Drink a glass about 90 minutes before you need it to kick in, experts say. Breathe deeply. Through deep breathing, you'll deliver a larger amount of oxygen to the brain, keeping you more alert.
Alright， 继续我们看 trigger 这个动词 ，trigger 是指引起或引发，例如 The inflammation of the cut on the patient's foot triggered a serious blood infection. 这位病患脚上伤口的发炎引起了严重的血液感染，或者是 The invention of the cell phone triggered a new era of communication. 手机的发明启动了沟通方式的新世代。Trigger 也可以当名词，意思就是指枪的扳机。例如 The sniper aimed at the kidnapper and pulled the trigger. 这位狙击手瞄准了绑架犯，然后扣下了扳机。最后我们看的是 boost 这个动词 ，boost 是指增强、提高、改善或者是推动。例如 The new advertisement has really boosted our sales recently. 这个新的广告最近真的提升了我们的销售量。或者是 The energy drink claims to boost your metabolism right after you drink it. 这个能量饮料宣称喝了之后可以立刻促进你的新陈代谢。Boost 也可以当名词，例如 The victory of our last game gave a boost to our team's morale. 最近一次比赛的胜利让我们的队伍士气大振。And now let's get back to our teachers.
Well, I really like this next tip. It's called drink cold water. Gabe, do you drink cold water?
I drink hot coffee and sometimes cold coffee.
Gabe, it's all about coffee, coffee, coffee.
Coffee has water in it.
Yes, and it has other things in it too. Okay, fine. You drink your coffee. I'm going to drink some cold water because our lesson recommends it. Cold triggers the stimulating hormone adrenaline. Wow. Which helps your heart pump stronger, boosting blood flow to your brain.
Oh, good. So, cold water has many benefits, just like coffee. We read on here, additionally, drinking water revives shriveled cells after hours of sleep-induced dehydration, which is known to cause tiredness. Okay, so if you have dehydration, that means you're lacking water, and that is known to cause tiredness. So drinking cold water will revive your shriveled cells? Shriveled.
Yeah, well, that's what it says.
Ugh.
Shriveled. What does it mean if something is shriveled? That just means that something becomes dried out and it becomes smaller.
Yeah.
And it might look a little unpleasant.
Right. You know what? I think of raisins when I think of something shriveled. Because raisins actually are grapes, right? But they're shriveled up. Now they're a lot smaller and wrinkly because they've been out drying in the sun, right? So they're shriveled grapes, really.
They have no water in them, no moisture, because that has all been taken out from the sun or from the heat.
Hey, didn't Jesus heal somebody with like a shriveled hand?
Oh, yeah, I'm
It was
sure.
all
Yes.
shriveled up.
The Bible definitely talks about several instances of that, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that he's healed a lot more people. Okay, so we're talking about drinking cold water. That's very important. And we're talking about sipping green tea. Do you like green tea? Well, today's your lucky day. It's very important to drink green tea.
All right, well, we read here, sip green tea. Where overdosing on coffee may make you jittery, green tea has just enough caffeine to boost production of the hormone adrenocorticotropium. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but I do like the word at the beginning of this sentence, and that is to overdose. What does that mean?
Well, if you overdose, that just means that you have too much of something. Now, oftentimes when I hear this word overdose, I do think of drugs, having an overdose of drugs.
Right. It's not good to overdose on drugs. It's not good to do drugs, period. Friends, sometimes people overdose on caffeine as well, and it makes them jittery, which is...
Jittery, yes. That just means that you start to shake a little bit. You might feel slightly out of control, uncontrolled.
Well, at the end of this tip here, we read, drink a glass about 90 minutes before you need it to kick in, experts say. So drink green tea 90 minutes before you need it to kick in. What is that all about?
Okay, if something finally kicks in, that just means that you start to have an effect on something, or something finally starts to happen.
That's right. So green tea or caffeine has an effect. When do you want that effect, or when do you want that thing to take effect? That's when it kicks in, right? Well, right now it is time for us to, it's time for,
Who
knows?
knows?
Who knows what time it is? That's right, it's time for Who Knows? The greatest fun review quiz in the world. Let's see who's playing with us today. Let's welcome Pastor Toby.
Hi, everyone. You can just call me Toby.
Well, Toby, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. Now join me in welcoming Flora.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Toby.
Maybe you can call me Pastor Toby.
Oh, okay. Hi, Pastor Toby.
Okay, Flora, over this way. Let's find out what today's words are, and let's get started with our game. The words you can choose from are jitters, counteract, carb, hormone, and boost. Are you ready for the clue?
Yes, sir.
Sure am.
Okay, the clue is, I'm feeling really nervous and excited after a cup of coffee. Who knows the answer?
I know.
Yes, Flora?
The answer is hormone.
Ah, and is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, the answer is no, not hormone. Why would you choose hormone anyway?
Because I have lots of hormones. Some make me nervous, and some make me excited, like adrenaline.
Okay. Well, Toby, what do you think? Do you have an idea?
Yes, I have an idea. Is the word counteract?
Why counteract?
Because God can help you counteract all feelings of nervousness.
Oh, I need that.
Okay, just close your eyes and think about him and...
Toby, Toby, you closed your eyes in the middle of our game.
Oh, well, I was praying.
Well then, amen. But the answer is not counteract.
Then I'm not sure what it...
I know. It's jitters. I have the jitters every time I drink a big cup of coffee. I feel nervous and excited. I have the jitters.
Flora, bingo, you are correct.
Wow.
How did you guess the answer?
It's like taking a test. All you have to do is pray, and God will give you the answer.
Well, I had to study to pass my test.
Here is your prize, Flora.
A mug of water?
Yes, it's good for you when you have the jitters. It'll calm you down.
Oh, good to know.
Well, that's all the time we have for now. Until next time, who knows?
Gabe, do you have the jitters? Oh, I think I know what happened. You drank too much coffee. You overdosed on coffee.
That's not true. I'm just working on a dance move
Yeah, right.
that I learned.
Well, friends, this is why you don't want to drink too much coffee. Anyway, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time right here on Studio Classroom.